So, the demo we're starting with today is actually a demo I played in a previous Next Fest. So, they seem to have maybe kind of sort of broken the rule of you're only supposed to appear in a single Next Fest, but there is good reason why they are in Next Fest again. Their demo has undergone a substantial update. Actually, it apparently underwent an update soon after I had played it as well, because I think I played it mid-2023. I'm actually going to tab over to a couple of updates that they had posted. That is the wrong one. This is the one I wanted first. So this was posted at the beginning of 2024, so probably about half a year after I had played the demo. And they mentioned a bunch of updates that they made to it. And one very important update they made is they've been working to optimize it for both Steam Deck and PC. Optimization was definitely, like, near the top of the list of things that I really wished that this game would focus on, that the developers would focus on, because I had to turn it down. I had turned it down to, like, medium settings. I ended up having to turn it all the way down to low settings to get it to stop frame skipping on me when I played it in 2023. Now, mind you, I was also playing in Windows in 2023, and I will be playing it through Proton in Linux this year, in February of 2026. That's when this is happening right now, in case people are watching it later. But the changelog also mentions additional gameplay unveiling the source of a mysterious signal located deep within the abyss. Don't know what that's about. Visual revisions to the HUD and weapon wheel. I did look over my original VOD from 3 years ago. And one of the things I had criticized was the weapon wheel, because it was this, like, there are 4 things you can select from the weapon wheel, and they all had these tiny icons and no text, so it was like, what the hell is this telling me? So I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. Performance and frame rate improvements. Improved death sequence and checkpointing. I'm curious what they might have done there. Improved visual and sound effects for the scout rifle and shield breaker weapons. I'm curious what they'll do there, because one thing that stuck out to me in the earlier demo was the shield breaker was really loud. And I think I already noticed one of the differences to the scout rifle, so I will try to remember to point that out when we get there. But yes, I believe them 100% on this. Improved combat experience, I'll be curious what they mean by that, and improved lighting and player guidance. The thing about the original demo was the entire area was very dark. So that kind of had me wondering in a couple of respects. It was very dark and it was very linear. So it kind of left me wondering, is the entire game going to be like this? Because it felt like there could be, felt like this could be promising, but I was worried that if the game was basically all like that original demo was in 2023, then it would just get real old real fast. I think the second area that this demo has added is going to dispel that concern pretty heavily. So with that, let's go look at the new demo update news post. The ridiculous thing is, the dev was, like, radio silent for a complete year between late 2024 and the end of 2025, and then all of a sudden they had, like, an announcement of, like... Well, first they had an announcement of an announcement that they were like, stay tuned for December 4th, 2025, or 4th December 2025, because they're European. But then on the 4th of December, they said, basically, we're planning to release the game in 2026. So, that's cool because, I didn't know when it was coming out. And with that, we now have a substantial demo update that was, I guess, posted about maybe a week before Next Fest. They posted a new trailer also, and I did watch that, and that's what tells me that, like, okay, the new area that's in the new demo is gonna be big news, like a big departure from what we saw originally. So we've got patch notes here. New demo area, Scourge Crater. That's the new stuff we're gonna see. In addition to the old stuff, they have both. There are separate menu items for both areas. So it's like a 2-area demo. Which, the first thing I think of with that is, like, wasn't there, like, a demo disc for, like, Final Fantasy 12 or something? I remember a friend having me play that once, and that had, like, 2 completely separate areas selectable or something. But yeah, so Scourge Crater will be completely new and look completely different. And that's going to be real interesting. But then Sorrow's Canyon was the original demo we had already played, and that has been shortened slightly to its original length. Which immediately makes me sad, because does that mean that I don't get to see this, the additional gameplay unveiling the source of a mysterious signal? Because, like, I'm kind of curious about that. Does this mean I don't get to see that now? We've got fixed to mouse sensitivity that wasn't functioning as expected. We've got improved sound effects for menus, and also in general gameplay sound effects. I will be very happy if that means they're balanced a little more evenly, because that was the thing, was like the shield breaker sound was very loud. Additional difficulty settings, I actually don't remember that's one thing I should have gone back and looked at that I forgot to, was like the very beginning of my 2023 playthrough to see what the menu was like then. Story mode, which basically makes you invincible, we'll read about it in the menu when we get into it. Traversal skip mode, an optional mode for more accessible playing. In addition to that, so I think that's in the accessibility menu, and there's also a thing for like accessibility platforms, which is a thing you'll see some games do. Multiple game options and sliders to increase or decrease difficulty. So yeah, there's additional like more granular modifiers in terms of like how much damage you take and stuff. Multiple game options and sensitivity sliders to customize gameplay experience. Ultra widescreen support, because otherwise somebody always complains about that. The codex has been updated to include contextual images for each entry, which is good because otherwise I probably didn't know what it was talking about. And controller support for various consoles, which I wonder if this is planning to release on consoles, actually. Added language support for Brazilian Portuguese, traditional Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Russian, in addition to French, German, Spanish, and simplified Chinese, which I guess were already there. For those who have played the old demo, you can enter the new area from the main menu, and this is what that looks like. So Sorrow's Canyon is the first thing on here. Does this enlarge? Yeah, there we go. Sorrow's Canyon is what was there before. Scourge Crater is the new thing. We would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Okay, let me actually look at the store page and read through that for those not familiar. Luna Abyss is a single-player, story-driven action-adventure with fluid platforming and bullet hell combat. Follow the journey of Fox, a prisoner of Luna caught between a cryptic prophecy and their prison sentence. So there's actually a really funny thing about that. And I'm sure multiple games have done this, but, like, this is one of those games where you have, like, an impossibly long prison sentence that, like, counts down as you do stuff. I know I played a little bit of Freedom Wars on PlayStation Vita years and years ago, that had a similar concept, except I think they used a much bigger number. And I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's others as well. But yeah, sure enough, planned release date 2026 now. We've already got a few reviews on here. I don't know if these are more recent or whether these were already there in 2023. The game is rich with warranted inspiration, itself a narrative and cinematic cocktail of BioShock, Nier Automata, and Returnal. This might be... Actually, how long ago did Returnal come out? That has been out for a few years now, hasn't it? The Bonsai Collective itself is a filled with staff with a deep passion for dark universes and high-octane action. Now, I will say, there's definitely at least a little bit of Nier Automata inspiration. I would also say there's some Metroid Prime inspiration. That's what hit me when I first played this. Move over Returnal. Luna Abyss is your next favorite bullet hell shooter. So I haven't played Returnal. I've seen one or two other people play it. I am easily discouraged by negative reviews, and Returnal definitely has some of those that I was just kind of like, yeah. Somehow I always manage to, like, not have Housemarque's releases land well with me. It's like Nex Machina, I wish I could like. There's just way too much visual noise and shit in that. Returnal does look kind of intriguing to me, but I'm also just not sure it's my kind of game. But I see a lot of comparisons to that happening here, but, like, this is much more of a, straightforward action-adventure game, I think, than Returnal is. Isn't Returnal more, like, maybe extraction-based isn't the right word, but, like, isn't it more of a repeated experience, whereas this is more of a straight-through experience. Although I am hoping that there might be some exploration elements. That's really what I came out of the first demo of this hoping for. We see big potential in Luna Abyss, a bullet hell FPS set in a space prison in which your movement skills will put to an even bigger test than your shooting skills. That is actually very accurate, so we can talk about why that is later too. You are a prisoner sentenced to explore a derelict megastructure that sprawls deep beneath the surface of the mimic moon Luna. You are tasked with recovering forgotten technology from within the abyss and the lost colony it consumed. Every move you make will be overseen by your artificial prison guard named Island. These centuries-old ruins are alive with maddening echoes, insinuating secrets of the once prosperous city of Greymont and its terrible fate. Hey, it's almost East 3, except instead of Redmont, it's Greymont. It's more monochrome. I mean, it could have been Redmont. The only color this game seems to know is red. Actually, no, there was blue up there. I stand correct. That's another thing that the second part of the demo, the new part, is gonna dispel for us, is that, like, actually this game knows how to be colorful. The Scourge, the tenets of the Allfather, the choir of the collective, the voices of the abyss call to you. They whisper strange missives. Don't be afraid, little wanderer. You need only go deeper. The better to be seen by us. The slumbering silent one breathes deep and waits. All we need is the key. All we need is you. The Mont faded over to... Yeah, it got too baked by the sun. Buried mystery. Uncover the mysteries of the mimic moon and the abyss within its depths. Come face to face with remnants of the colony's downfall and discover your role within this doomed world. Learn all the secrets the abyss has to offer. So yeah, like, there's a lot of, like, I don't know if all of this falls quite into brutalist architecture, but there's definitely, like, some semblances of that in places. Navigate forsaken chasms. Sprint, jump, and dash your way through this brutalist alien... They even used the word brutalist. There you go. This brutalist alien megastructure. Experience fluid first-person platforming as you travel through Luna and the depths of the abyss. And actually, this particular video kind of shows off more of that than I ever remember seeing, certainly in the demo. Like, apparently, we're gonna be able to, like, create platforms and stuff. Withstand the onslaught. This is the kind of stuff that you're gonna start seeing in the second area of the demo. Like, look, we can be outside. There's colors and stuff. Face corrupted souls and twisted cosmic horrors of Luna Abyss with weapon in hand. Master your tools, adjust on the fly, and survive in a bullet hell. They do say bullet hell repeatedly, and yes, it is supposed to be that. It's kind of funny, actually, because now that I think about it, I played Calyx earlier in the week, and that was a, you know... It felt like it had Souls-like elements to it, but it also felt like Nier Automata, both involving you have a drone that flies next to you that can shoot ranged attacks, and also some enemies do bullet hell things. This is much more focused on enemies do bullet hell things, but also you have guns and stuff. So, yeah, interesting how that's... The only bullet hell games I've actually played during Next Fest are, like, combined with other genres. I did not play a single, like, actual classic shmup kind of game in this Next Fest. I looked for them, but the shoot 'em up and bullet hell genres in Next Fest are basically useless because they're largely inundated with survivors likes and other crap that doesn't matter. I'm saying that a little bit tongue-in-cheek. I know I'm being a little unfair to people who work on those, but, like, there's already too many survivors likes. I don't need another one. Unless you manage to do something super compelling, which is very, very infinitesimally small, the chance of that. Mature content description, first-person shooter violence, mild language. Actually, what's funny is even when you select this game in Twitch, in the drop-down, it says this is meant for mature audiences, and I'm like, why? I didn't think it was particularly graphic. It must be the language. I don't know. I don't remember there being curse words, but maybe there are. Anyway, I'm gonna jump into the game now, so let's kill the browser. You can see the game there, but you can't hear the game. because it goes silent when I Alt-Tab out, unfortunately, and I don't think there's an option to correct that. So you can navigate the menus with keyboard as well as mouse. Obviously, we saw in the update that it mentions that they added support for more types of console controllers as well. They already mentioned the expanded language support, so you can see all of those here. But yeah, let's actually troll through the options. So you got Fox field of view, Warden field of view. So I'm already confused because I thought both of these are the same entity, but apparently not. So don't know if we'll get an answer to that within the demo. You've got aim assist as an option for if you're using controller, presumably. You've got your invert. You've got difficulty. We get to select that when we go into the game anyway, but I guess that means you can change it later. And I guess it actually, yeah, it refreshes the text here when you change it, but I think that's going to be easier to read when we start the game, so I'll wait until then to read through that. So we've got controls, we've got mouse sensitivity, controller sensitivity. One thing I will immediately mention is the mouse wheel feels like it is too nerfed in the menus. Like, if I do a single click on my mouse wheel, that is how much it goes down. That is not terribly helpful. I will scroll until my middle finger falls off, so that I cannot then flip it to the developer for making my middle finger fall off with that scroll wheel speed. So I'm just going to click and drag the bar over here. Of course, if I use the keyboard, presumably that kind of scrolls a little bit ahead of time. You're seeing two highlights sometimes because when it scrolls, it's one of those games where the mouse hovering also takes effect when scrolling happens. Although it does seem like it's not, like, taking over for what actually has focus. So that's at least good, but it's still confusing to look at. So you've got movement keys. If you're wondering why the text over on the right-hand side here is super tiny, that's actually the normal text size. I'm going to jump over to accessibility for a second to show you what I mean. Because show large text is something I turned on. This is your normal text size. Now you know why I had large text turned on. Because then it's actually fucking readable. Like, you know, this is a case in point of, like, how accessibility helps everyone, because, like, this is basically going to be a necessity to anybody. If this were to come to consoles, or if someone is going to play this, you know, across their room on a couch or something, they're not going to want to play it with small text. They're going to want to play it with actually readable text. So, this is a case where, you know, situational accessibility of, yeah, actually I'm across my room on a couch, I still need to be able to fucking read the game, is something worth calling out. So, and they have had this option since the first demo. But it's funny that, like, on this screen, the individual bindings still use the small text, and that's why it's that tiny. But you've got your movement, jump, sprint, crouch, dash. Sprint does function as you press it once, and then as long as you keep moving, it's going. So it's tailored towards clicking the left stick if you were playing this with controller. You've got use weapon, and you've got lock on. So this is a big part of why I say this feels like Metroid Prime. And also why I say this is predominantly a bullet hell, first and foremost, because you don't even need to worry about aiming, which, like, for bullet hells is actually a big deal. Like, even for top-down, you know, arcade shmups and stuff. It's like, if my main focus is on not getting hit, then I'm not focusing on where the enemy is at, and I might not be hitting it all the time. So lock-on remedies that. So it's not supposed to be punishing you for not also keeping an eye on the enemy. Your first priority is don't get hit. So we've got weapon wheel. We've got drift kill, which I don't think I ever figured out what that meant in the original demo. So we'll have to see if this one actually introduces that at some point. You've got your weapon hotkeys. So, like, on keyboard, you've got 4 weapons, so you don't even really need weapon wheel. You've got shield, which I don't remember if that was there before. I don't remember it being a function that was available, at any rate, in the original demo. And then you've got interact and possess/depossess. This was listed in the original demo, but I don't think we ever used it. Interestingly, these are both bound to the same key anyway. So, I'm guessing you only have to ever do one or the other, never both. So we've got our windowed full screen in addition to both of the opposite extremes. You do have a resolution scale slider. You do have a frame rate limit in addition to VSync, so there are a bunch of things you can adjust here to try to get the game to perform well. You've got dynamic resolution. You've got a couple of toggles here for ambient occlusion and screen space reflections. You've got motion blur, which I'm just realizing now is turned on. Maybe I'll come and turn that off if I get annoyed by it. You've got brightness. I actually had this, like, very turned down when I first played it, for some reason. I'm guessing that the very first time I launched this 3 years ago, it probably had, like, one of those screens of, like, turn the brightness down until you can barely see the logo on the left. I turned it up this time, because I did a little bit of experimenting, and it's kind of weird because, I mean, and part of it is just a function of my monitor, I guess, because it feels like there's a limit to the contrast that the game, that the environment in at least the first area in the demo will have. But brightness, turning up brightness definitely does turn up, like, the amount that you'll be able to see, like, floors and stuff. So, like, turning up brightness does actually help. So I turned it up. This is higher than I had it before, by quite a bit. It feels like the first area especially is trying to be very dark and moody, though, so I figured I would keep it a little bit down, because, like I said, I assume there was a reason that I had it as far down as I had it. Then we have our quality settings. So, reminder, I think I mentioned this already. When I played the demo the first time, in 2023, I think I had these initially at, like, a combination of high and medium, and then I was dropping frames, like, in the game, I was seeing the dropped frames. And again, I was playing natively in Windows 10 back then, whereas now I'm playing through Proton. I had to turn the settings down to, I tried just all medium, then I was like, screw it, it's still happening, and I set everything to low, eventually, later on in the level. I went through the first few rooms of the game with recording active in OBS to test, because, like, that would have been enough for me to see the issues that I had 3 years ago. I had no frame dropping, or at least certainly nothing super noticeable, with everything at high, when I tested literally earlier today. So, that stuff they said about doing performance improvements, they did performance improvements, so that's great. You've got other stuff down here. I'm always surprised when, like, it doesn't list anything under NVIDIA RTX card compatible, because, like, I have an RTX card, so, like, why is there nothing here? And I don't know if it's because of Proton or what. You've got your audio settings. I have attempted to adjust these because, like I said, some of the sound effects get loud. But I want to be able to hear the voices, and I want you to be able to hear the voices. Then you've got accessibility. You've got your rumble intensity for controllers. You've got camera shake and distortion. So again, things we might come back to. Okay, one thing that's oddly ironic about this menu. Notice how in these menus you had this really wide scroll bar, which is good. That makes it easier to grab. For some reason, the accessibility menu has a narrower scroll bar, which makes it less easy to grab, makes it much harder to grab. And you still have the problem where, like, each individual scroll wheel click still goes a very, very small amount. So I'm gonna want to use the scroll bar. So, like, please use this same scroll bar that you used here. There are two things good about this, actually. One is it's wider, and the other is the track is at least somewhat visible even where it's not currently at. Like, you can see it's black there. On the accessibility one, the rest of the track is invisible. There is no track. There is only the white part. So, yeah. Please apply the thicker, better scroll bar to the accessibility menu, where it is literally the most relevant. Because thicker, more visible scroll bars are an accessibility feature. So we've got camera shake and distortion, first-person animation range of motion. What does that mean? Adjust degree of animation related to turning while firing, jumping and running. I think those are supposed to be 2 different lines. State changes such as transitioning between standing and crouching. Oh, okay. Selecting minimal will reduce the animation motion to lowest possible level of perceptibility. Okay. That's interesting, actually. And then you actually have a reduced camera motion toggle here. Remove the motion and flicker effect associated with possession and depossession. Again, that is a thing that I didn't get to see at all in the original demo. Probably a good thing to have here. Show enemy location indicators. I'm assuming this is for, like, outside your line of sight. Which points to active enemies. The white arrow will turn purple when an enemy starts attacking or telegraphing its attack. It's interesting because I feel like when I was playing Seth yesterday, sometimes I would see an exclamation mark at the bottom, and I suspect that was trying to indicate when an enemy was attacking from outside of line of sight. So I suspect this is doing that too. I might want to experiment with that. Let me turn that on, because like I know what the game looks like with it off, so let's see what that looks like on. So large text I already talked about. Color correction mode, you've got your color blindness here. Color correction strength, which is your intensity of how much it applies the filter. Skip flashing image effects. That sounds good. It doesn't document what it is talking about, but yeah, we might actually want that. Perform freeze frames. Okay, so I know what this is talking about. I'm gonna leave this on initially, but I might experiment with it, with turning it off, because it was a thing that I was surprised to see in the game originally. Basically, when you kill an enemy, it tangibly stops motion for a split second, and I think it might even do it on individual hits, so it's actually kind of a hit confirm. So we might try with that off at some point, but, like, I have to assume that to a certain extent the game is sort of paced around these pauses happening, so, like, turning it off is arguably going to make the game a little bit harder. Speaking of difficulty, though, here's your difficulty modifier. So you've got damage level, which you can switch to low damage or no damage. It doesn't change the description there. I wasn't sure if it was exactly half damage or what, but it doesn't describe it. Timer adjustment, this is what I'm thinking of. There's timers for, like, puzzles and stuff, and there's a double time option, and then there's a no time limit option, and, like, in web accessibility, that's literally a thing. Timing adjustable, no time limits, like, that. This is literally implementing part of WCAG. This is, like, conforming to web content accessibility guidelines. You've got, you can switch the lock on to toggle rather than hold, so that you don't have to hold right click or whatever button. You can switch the sprint to hold if you want. I might actually be inclined to use that, but also I can probably get used to it the way it is. Use single tap interactions. I'm not... This could really use a description, because I don't know what this is talking about. Like, what interactions don't already involve a single tap? Enable traversal skip. This is what the update talked about, the news post. This could also stand to have a description, because I don't know exactly what it means. Like, is it actually just, like, making the game shorter, or is it... I don't know whether it's convenience or difficulty, really. And then, this is the thing I mentioned I saw in here, enable accessibility platforms. Okay, so I'm leaving the freeze frames on for now. I guess I'll leave the flashing image effects on, because I'm not sure what we're even gonna see. We might play with the camera motion stuff at some point. And I turned the location indicators on because I'm curious about that. So we're going to start with Sorrow's Canyon, which is what I played 3 years ago. Here's where you get your difficulty select, where you can see the options more easily. And whether you're moving around with keyboard or mouse, it updates as you select. So story mode is recommended for players who want to experience the world and story of Luna Abyss without the challenge of combat or traversal preventing progress. Player invulnerability is enabled by default. The player can bypass traversal challenges by utilizing the traversal skip feature. The difficulty mode and additional difficulty options can be changed at any time from within the options menu. And like we saw those individually in the options menu as well, so it's almost like this is a preset. Scout is recommended for players new to action games, or for those that want to experience the world and story of Luna Abyss with less challenging combat. Enemy attacks deal significantly less damage, enemy attacks move slower, and their fire rate is decreased. Damage to the player is reduced. Player deals increased damage, and Drift Kill restores more health. Yeah, I was wondering if Drift Kill is gonna be like a Doom 2016 Glory Kill type of thing, and that might be what it is. But like I said, I don't think it was at all introduced in the demo I played years ago. The difficulty mode, okay, the change at any time is shown at the bottom of every single one. Warden is recommended for players with experience playing action games who want a balanced combat experience, and Scourge is recommended for players who with a lot of experience playing action games who enjoy the challenge of punishing combat. Enemy attacks move faster, enemy attack rate is increased, enemies have increased health, so they're gonna be tanky as hell. Because, like, enemies already, at least with your initial weapon, enemies already take quite a few hits to kill. Enemy attacks deal increased damage, and Drift Kill restores less health. There are things about this game, especially in this initial area that we're going into, that feel almost like they want to be Souls-like. Like, there's specific crystals that you recharge your health at. There's one particular NPC that, like, all of the stuff he says feels like, okay, you were kicked out of some Souls game and sent to the fucking moon, and here we are. So the way that Scourge is positioned kind of rubs me that way. But we're gonna play on Warden, the medium difficulty. And now I will start the... That's not the timer. Hang on. Here we go. I still had numbers in there from yesterday.
The end only comes. You say stop.
That was weird. I cut off the beginning of that line.
Time to wake up, little wanderer. It's time to wake up.
I wonder if those flashes would have been affected by that setting.
Where? Huh? Where am I? What happened to my body?
So notice it says plus W to move your Warden. And I was wondering about why there were two separate FOVs. And you have to hold E to collect things, so a lot of interactions involve hold inputs. I'm kind of surprised they don't have... Oh, maybe that's what single tap does. Oh, alright, you know what? We're immediately going to perform signs. I'm going to restart. I want to change two options. One is we're going to do single tap interactions. That's probably what that's for. And the other is... Where was the flashing? Skip flashing image effects. I want to see if that makes a difference in that starting sequence. I might as well reset the timer because I need to watch this to see whether it has an effect.
The end only comes. You say stop.
They really do kind of skip the word when in that, I guess. I remember hearing it.
Time to wake up, little wanderer. It's time to wake up.
Yeah, there was no flickering that time, right? I'm pretty sure there was before, so that's a really good setting to have. I mean, like, yes, it makes it less dramatic, but...
Where? Huh? Where am I? What happened to my body?
Alright, so now, can I just tap? Yes. So that gets rid of the holding. Which, like, the holding seems kind of pointless on a thing like this. It's like, why wouldn't you want to interact with this? But I guess I could see not wanting to do it by mistake, especially if E is overloaded between interact and the possess-depossess thing. This is my last entry. I've done all I can to survive, to hold those monsters back. I've tried to bury as many as I can, shitty makeshift tombs. They deserved better. Frank went first, tore up by whatever those things are. You'd see it seeping into the tears in his warden after he fell. The black liquid. Alive. Moving. I couldn't get to his body, but I think his soul is gone. Then Jesse, Cooper, all dead. All lost. Now it's just me. Alone and thinking of you. Thinking of us. God, how I wish there was more of us. Hope you got away, Sarah. You got away. Signed, Silvio. And then we've got, like, this is the codex, I guess, because you've got locations, you've got characters, you've got memories, which we just got one. You've got monsters, and you've got items. Alright, for the full experience, I am going to turn those options back to how they were. Which, like, yeah, I find the flashes annoying too, but I want to see, like, I want to get a sense for what it would be skipping, most likely. And I'll turn off single-tap interactions just in case there's a good reason for it to not be that way by default.
In spite of those who seek to control us.
I wonder if it changes that flash. Immediately wonder as soon as I turned it back on. Scout rifle. The Abyss provides. So it seems like every time you get a new piece of equipment, it always says the Abyss provides, I think. Hold left click to fire the scout rifle at enemies and targets such as doors and buttons. So. Oh, and then they immediately talk about lock on, which you can also do with the door. And you'll notice that, like, it's sort of... This might be what the camera movement thing was about. Let's test that, actually. Where was that? Reduced... Was it this one? Or was it... It was this one, right? Range of motion. So what if... I'm just gonna put it down to minimal. No, it didn't really change... I feel like it didn't change how that behaves. Because you can see that, like, the weapon is kind of, like... moving left and right to target the door without actually, like, there's a weak amount of, like, circle strafing going on automatically. Whereas, like, if you were doing this manually, you would have to circle strafe a lot harder. But yeah, it's a mystery what this means to me right now. Turning while firing, jumping and running, state changes. Oh wait, this is the one that's, wait, is this the one I actually wanted to do? That's just possession and depossession, though. Okay, so this is like... Well, let's actually fire the gun, because one of the big things they improved is you can actually see the gun fire now. In the original demo, it basically just felt like a hit-scan weapon, which, like, it is still a hit-scan weapon. I assume the goal is you're not supposed to have to think about, like, computing, you know, leading your targets, computing ahead on that, because you're supposed to be busy not, trying not to get hit by 500 bullets. Yeah, you can see the laser kind of, the trail stays in place for a while. Let's try, like, jumping. Wait, isn't there a crouch button? Oh, it's C. It's a toggle. Okay. So this is with minimal set, right? Running while firing, jumping and running. State changes. Let me try jumping and running. Oh yeah, there's like no movement bob right now. That's probably the biggest thing. Whereas if I put this back to full... Oh, did it actually... Like, now it's moving the weapon. Did it not do that before? Oh, is it actually... I think it's actually, like, swaying back and forth a little bit. Like, tilting. And you can see the weapon moves there. And there's, like, a whole bunch of kickback on it right now. That must be what it is. Right, so first-person animation, meaning the weapon model. Yeah, so that's already way... Wait, what? Look at how much my view is moving now, though. Yeah, now the weapon moves a lot less. Like, before she was drawing it into her in order to sprint, and now she doesn't do that at all. there's still a lot of jerking to the camera, so, like, I don't know if that's controllable. That seems like almost a bigger problem. But let's see if, reduced camera motion... Nope. I feel like reduced camera motion maybe should do something about that, if it's not factored into the first-person animation. Because that seems like it could be annoying to people, just the amount of, like, camera kickback every time you fire a shot. Seems like a lot. Anyway. I'm gonna put things back to where they were. Like, it's kind of nice to have the feedback of, like, yes, I am definitely sprinting now.
You belong nowhere but here.
Also, boy, this voice has been talking to itself a lot.
Nearly there. Just a little more first. That's it.
Scout the abyss.
Adjustment here. Level that up there and...
You gather technologies to trade with Earth.
There we
Arrows
are.
Canyon.
Finally a clear connection. I see the Abyss has chosen a Fate Warden for you. I take it you must be from a working class background. Oh, and you found a scout rifle too. How resourceful. But enough idle talk. The Old Father has made a request.
In spite
A rare piece of drift technology has been detected somewhere in the canyon. An excavation tool known as the Shield Breaker. We need you to retrieve it for study. I'm adding its general location into your objective system. Track it down, and the Old Father will reward you.
Sure he will. All father this, all father that. Somehow I suspect the all father isn't all he's cracked up to be.
you belong nowhere but here.
Actually, you know, this might be a good opportunity to test the brightness setting. Is that here, or is that here? That's here. Oh yeah, one thing I should point out that I forgot to is they moved mouse sensitivity to a much more sensible place in this version of the demo. In the original demo, it was under accessibility, which, like, I mean, okay, but, like, it's kind of a core thing that you absolutely need to be able to change. Although, I say that, but some games manage to forget to include that option. I wanted to change the brightness, right? Yeah, so, like, let's pump it up a ton just to see what it looks like. Yeah, things seem a little more... Like, the outlines are more visible and stuff now, and you can see just how much crap is jumbled together here.
You gather technologies to
Whereas now it's, yeah, it's much darker.
exchange.
I was like, there's only so much the game can do when everything is black. Also, like, you'll notice there's, like, a heat meter. Like, weapons in this game seem to operate on heat, mostly. And I think when I shoot, you also see, like, yeah, you can see the tubes lighting up as it heats up as well. Can I go over here? Can. I don't know that there's any rewards for going out of your way to explore in this demo, though. Now they tell you about sprinting in case I hadn't been doing it already.
What the?
Nothing?
Strike carefully, Fox. There are adrift nearby. Don't be deceived by those still with a human form.
I always thought stray
Their
carefully
souls
was a
have been
weird
consumed
turn
by
of
the
phrase.
scourge that rots this place. All that's left is pure horror.
Come to think of it, I just thought of something. Obviously we have subtitles. Are those toggleable? Because I imagine some people would probably like to turn them off. I like them being on, but also they're probably influenced by show large text as well. But yeah, it looks like there might not be a toggle for them. Also, I guess I don't make any footstep noises, which I'm realizing now that I'm running through a puddle and not making any noise. Ah. Yeah, it actually... Oh, that might be... I wonder if that's new. It actually said health restored for a split second under my health bar at the top of the HUD. Because I remember when I first played the demo, it took me a while to realize that these did that. Entry number 2, help us. Who wrote this one? Churchill. It just screamed at me. Screamed! And those things. Adrift, she said. Consumed by the Scourge. What the hell's the Scourge? Not even a weapon. Just thrown in. But I'm out. I got out. I'll just wait. I'll just wait till she takes me back. I promise to do as I'm told. I promise, I promise, I promise. I'm guessing that didn't end well. Honestly, that ended off sounding almost like Ebenezer Scrooge. I see stuff over there, but I'm assuming I can't get there. Does that look ominous to you? Oh, now it definitely does.
Mother! There's an intruder! Death to the intruder! Death to you!
Wait, Mother? So, there's all Father, and now there's Mother. And now there's these guys that look like they were rejected from The Last of Us. Rawhead, to be killed on sight. So again, every enemy, it always says to be killed on sight. So here's your bullets. Yeah, so it's not on every hit, it's only on kill. It does like a slowdown. So, out of curiosity, let's turn off the freeze frame and see how much more intense it makes things feel, because like the freeze frame basically gives you a minute to collect yourself and figure out what you want to do next. Yeah, now there's no pause. Which, like, I can definitely see where the pause could be annoying to people, or, like, you know, mess with their, bloody bones. Also to be killed on sight. So, I forget. I don't think the bloody bones had different colored bullets in the original demo. That might be new. I'm gonna turn the, freeze frames back on, but, like, I get where it could mess with people, so, like, I definitely appreciate the option being there. I also think it's actually kind of interesting to, like, use that as sort of, like, an impact, like, to provide a sense of impact. I mean, it's almost like, oh yeah, I see the, yeah, okay, I see the indicators, or if they're actually around the crosshair. And even when they're in front of you, they're there. It's not even just when they're behind you, but it is also that. Now, the interesting thing is, I was paying attention, I purposely turned there to test. It's purple when the enemy attacks. It's not purple when there are bullets, it's purple when the enemy attacks. So you might get hit by a bullet later, because you don't realize that it's there, because you should have paid attention to it being purple earlier. I should probably keep that on for my own good, honestly.
The Mother Eyes network. Oops.
But yeah, having, like, that's the thing that always is hard about, like, doing a first-person bullet hell, is you've got to take into account that players only have awareness of roughly a quarter of all that's going on around them. So having the option to have, you know, at least a sense of where enemies are at around you, it's basically like a radar. It's basically like a direction-only radar. And you could argue that it's almost it's almost a difficulty tweak. But it's a difficulty tweak that's, like, literally just making you more situationally aware. Which, like, yeah, I think putting that in accessibility makes sense. And if anyone thinks that making the player less situationally aware is valid difficulty. Well, I guess it depends on the context, but I feel like there are cases where games do that, where it just feels like a jerk move, and it's like, yeah, you're trying to be difficult, but it's actually just crappy design. So, I don't mean that to mean it's crappy design in here. I appreciate the way that this game is doing it. Do I have to shoot you? I do have to shoot you. I probably could have locked onto that, and that would have, like, made that much more evident to me. Guess we're going down there. Oh, yep. Oh, and it colors it, too. Like, I think it colored my health bar as it refilled it, and then it said health restored. Yeah, I am almost certain that that all was not there in the original demo. So that is, much more perceptible. I mean, it's still pretty subtle, but at least it's more likely to catch your eye than just surprise your health bar is full now. So, this guy.
There isn't much salvage left here, you know. All the useful technology was taken a long time ago.
Was this text always this small? It was like, I selected large text, but then the text in the dialogue here, 1, is on the small side, and 2 is kind of dark. Like, I feel like this could be a brighter color to make it more readable.
Are you a prisoner?
No. I am a relic of different times. I envy you surface dwellers. These depths grow stifling after a while. I can't recall when I last saw moonlight.
Uh-huh. How long have you been down here? Or a relic of different times. I'm under the impression that most of these choices don't really make much difference.
A relic of different times?
We create time where none exists. It has no material meaning, no worth with which to measure.
Yeah, like that could have easily answered the other question, too, of how long has he been down here.
Everything that is exists only as the sum total of what was and what is yet to come. As the snake swallows its own tail, so time swallows itself. Do you see?
Most meaningful options of dialogue choice ever seen in a video game. Or I'm not sure I do.
I'm not sure I do.
Nothing in life is irrefutable. Perhaps you will reach a different conclusion. But please tell me, what brings you to these decaying halls?
I'm looking for a piece of technology. Something called a shield breaker.
A shield breaker? That sounds anime as all hell.
Ah, I see. So the automated detection system is still in working order. I use an old workshop not far from here. I think what remains of your shield breaker can be found there. Follow the path through this tower and cross the pipes that grow.
So in other words, keep going basically in linear fashion.
Thank you.
Take care, young scout.
Press tab to show your current objective and an objective marker. Oh, okay. Can I talk to him again? Nope, guess not. It's like, when you see someone like this, and... oh wait, yes I can.
Take care, young scout.
No, I can't. That's literally all he says. Like, when you see somebody like this at a frickin' bonfire, 1, you ask yourself, am I in a Souls game? And 2, you expect them to be, like, important. And he certainly makes himself sound important. I mean, I'm not saying he thinks that highly of himself, but, like, the way he talks is, you know, very puzzling. Something is making noise. Not my church, is that what that says? Seems to say that many, many times. Ooh, there's lore. Is that what was making the sound? I didn't notice that with the other ones. The waif. I've seen him skulking the halls of the abyss like a shadow. I heard him communicate with the lost ones, trading tales of loss and sorrow so that they may come to peace with their fate. The nomad, they whisper. Yep, now the sound's gone. Okay. I don't know if that audio cue is new. I feel like I'm still hearing something. Whoops. Nope. There we go. Nope. Is there anything over here, or do I have to go down? Wait, I can go this way. Yeah, and you can lock onto that. Alright, but hang on. Is there more stuff down, like, here? I have to remember that crouch is on A. Oh, I don't think I can go down there, actually. Alright, then this is where we're going. I didn't really think there was going to be another option. Yeah, now they're telling you to crouch. And now where am I going? I kinda can't see anything. Oh, I'm going over here. It looks like there's stuff over there too, but... Oh, did I jump too early? No. Jumps are very floaty in this. Another thing that makes me think of Metroid Prime, really. Oh, there's a pipe down there. There's also pipes around here. Eh? Was I not supposed to go down there? I guess I'm stuck here now. Didn't realize how big of a drop that was. Oh, hello. Almost got point blanked. Oh, overheat. Oh, I was getting hit by the overhead dude over here. There's still something else. Is there still something else? Also, it definitely seems like they want to call your attention to these wires. Oh, here we go. Oh, so the music was still going because there's more enemies that need to spawn when you advance through the room. So it doesn't, like, the music doesn't come and go when enemies are, you know, spawned and then killed, and in between when they spawn again. What's that all the way down there? I want to go that way? I'm actually really curious about that, but that probably kills me. I don't know. Let's try it anyway. What is that? Is that actually where the waif is? That is where the waif is. Okay. So I can actually go all the way back and do it all over again. Well, that's what I needed to hit, actually. Alright, actually, if I can go back down there... Oh, was there more stuff up? There was... Oh, that kills you? That's stupid. Like, there's obviously stuff down there. There's also, like, a path right here. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just unnecessarily getting myself into trouble. What the heck? That was weird. Yeah, I can't get over there. Alright, fine. I'm getting thou musted, basically. So basically there isn't fall damage until there is. And if there is, then the game thinks you screwed up. That feels somewhat disappointing, though. There wasn't a thing there, right? Yeah, okay. Here's the pipes that we were supposed to follow down. I would be tempted to jump down there, but... I don't know if the game's just gonna punish me again. Oh, actually, is this... Yep, that's a stone. Okay. Oh, we can slide. That was a thing in the original demo, now that I think about it. Alright, but can I go over there, though? I was probably down there already. Even the platform. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about it then. Those are purple now. I'm pretty sure those weren't purple before. I'm pretty sure they were just white before. You know what this reminds me? There was no option to turn bloom down, was there? I feel like I haven't been slapped in the face with motion blur. Like, normally I notice that very quickly, and I feel like I haven't. So here's a question. If I turn post-processing to low, does that reduce bloom at all? Maybe? If I put it back to high, will it be worse again? Oh, also, high is actually... That feel when medium isn't actually medium, high is actually medium. Because then there's epic and then there's cinematic after that. Yeah, it feels like it's glowing more now, doesn't it? So I guess if I want less bloom, my only option is turn down post-processing. I don't know how much of a difference it's actually making. But yeah, so it's possible that part of why the performance seems better is high might be less high than it used to be. I don't know if there used to be both epic and cinematic above it before.
You're handy with a rifle, aren't you? Your records say you grew up in New London. A sinful place, according to the Allfather.
I mean, he probably says everything's sinful.
Surprised.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
It's none of your business.
That too.
Your transition here was a blessing, really. Anyway, it seems you have a clue from that disconnected about the Shieldbreaker's location. But be mindful. Not everyone you meet in the Abyss will be so kind.
Like you? I feel like I didn't hear that one from below, but it was kind of obviously placed. Like, they make sure to have the screen be bright so that it stands out. Mother Eyes. But who is Mother? Constructs have neither parents nor memory of their own creation, yet their frenzy is such that one must consider the possibility that she is some strange and vengeful deity. One thing's for certain, I hope I never meet her. I don't know who any of these names are. I don't know if they're ever going to be important. But, like, all of the quotes are attributed to someone. Or all the writings. Up here? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. we're going this way then. Seems to go all the way around, so then we're going this way. Presumably over there. I guess we have ledge grabs. Okay. But yeah, being able to turn down bloom might be nice, but also I realize that it would probably kind of make this environment even darker. Like, bloom seems to be doing a lot of work there, for instance. Oh, one bullet almost made it. That's funny how those things, like, turn into these, like, white orbs that then eventually disintegrate. Meanwhile, I think we have bounce pads. Yes, we do. Also, you do have auto fire. I've been incessantly clicking, but I don't need to do that. But yes, like, I'm very interested in the second part of the demo, the new part, because the thing about the first part is the platforming feels pretty basic, and the fact that you're, like, really floaty kind of contributes to that. Of course, I mean, like, we're supposed to be on some kind of, like, manufactured moon or something, right? So I guess the floatiness makes sense. Oh, hey, look, it's a shield. If only we had a thing to break it. Oh, that seems to be what this is. Oh, there's also lore bits. Crystallization. I always have to go look at who's supposedly saying this first. A-L. Well, I don't know. We're just going to assume it's Al, then. The threads are incredibly fine when crystalline. Each is like a unique strand of DNA. When combined with differing types, the possibilities are endless. Take this shield breaker. The substance, drift, is the same as any other tool. Yet the combination creates a unique explosive effect, an intense combustion, and a beautiful blue hue. We've known this for hundreds of years, of course, but only surface level. I need to think deeper. Each strand is as unique as an individual's identity. No, it is an identity. And right under our noses all this time. In our weapons, machines, wardens. Those lost are not forgotten, it seems. Still, there is work to do. There are new things to create from these identities. New experiments to perform. I need to stop procrastinating and get back to work. Time waits for no one, especially her. Her, you say? Alright, let's check for any other potential lore bits. But I doubt we would get more than one. Alright, time to collect it. Oh, I forgot I was gonna frickin', like, test turning off the flash for that. Press left click to fire a shield breaker charge and destroy shields. Press left alt to open the weapon wheel and switch weapons. That is something I need to test. Oh yeah, this is a completely new weapon wheel. They completely redid it, because it used to just be
Fox, your sentence has been reduced
black
by
and red, and that's it.
10 days.
10 days! It's only 9,113 now.
Those blue energy fields. I'll just locate a disconnection point to bring you back.
Remind me why we're imprisoned? Okay. I think the game needed to load things for that. That is unfortunately kind of common with Proton. Oh, okay, it comes back. So you have to flashbang yourself. Thanks, I hate it. I highly doubt that the flash option will do anything for that, but now I'm curious. Get flashing image effects. Let's see. Nope, it still flashbangs you. The thing is, it looks like there's been like an autosave. kind of like there's been like an icon in the corner sometimes, but like I don't think there are any save slots in this, so I don't think it would be great if I could just go back and test that again with the flashing off, because I want to know if the red flash when you pick up a new item goes away. But no, I guess we'll get the original experience for now. I could replay like the very beginning of this and get the first weapon again if we wanted to test that at some point. So you can do that, but you can also just press 1 and 2, which on keyboard is going to be way easier. But yeah, the weapon wheel does work as you would expect. Trying to figure out like if there was a like return to neutral on it. But like basically as soon as you hold Alt, just move the mouse in the direction you want. Alright, where am I going now? Oh, over here. How about no? Yeah, so that effect, I'm guessing, probably gets reduced. And maybe even this one.
More connections. Anomalous signal detected. Camden District. Scout action requested. Selection begins.
That's where I am.
Selection completed. Scout 5437. Designation Forks. Location Canyon District. Investigate immediately.
That's who I am. Well, that's bad news, probably.
Fox, we'll have to look at disconnecting you later.
No kidding.
I've synchronized the origin location to your objective system, so you should be able to follow where that sound is coming from.
Although I'm
Looks like that
confused.
shield breaker may come in more useful than we thought.
I'm confused, because wasn't Island telling me to get the shield breaker because the Allfather wanted it? But now the Allfather kind of sounds like they don't want us to exist, maybe? So that sounds worse. There was almost like an extra place to go over there, but it didn't seem like there was anything there. So. Oh, this needs to be shield broken first. Oh, I can one-shot these guys with this. Yeah, so that's good. Oh, wait. You shoot way more shots. Okay. Kind of feels like this weapon is lagging the game a bunch, though. Or the shield breaking also counts as a pause. Let me try turning off that setting again. Because if the shield breaking also counts as a pause, I don't know. That, like, if that gets a freeze frame, I don't know if I like that. Yep, that's what it is. Wait, no, I didn't break the shield. Huh? Does this have limited range? That definitely did feel like there was less of a pause to it, though. So I think that's, like, the very first time I used it, I'm pretty sure that there was some, like, on-the-fly loading that happened. But I was feeling it even now and not realizing, oh, wait, that's intentional because it's breaking a shield. So apparently it freeze frames on both that and also killing enemies. What are you? You're very bright. If only I had known. You're infused with the power of condensed drift. Your max health has increased and you feel stronger. Oh, that's not even a... Oh, is that a full pip? I don't know, I couldn't tell because it, like, made the whole thing solid for a second. But yeah, why do I have, like, a third or half or quarter of a pip at the end there? That seems weird. That telling me that that wasn't powered before and that's what just got powered? Which I don't think I go this way to get to there. I think I have to just jump off of this. So, what if I had jumped off of that before I turned that on? Like, would I have been soft locked? Or was this where I came in originally? Maybe it was. Oh yeah, and then I went, it was on the other side of the door. Right, okay. That still feels like there's a bit of a pause. Even with that setting turned off. Oh, look what it is again.
You! Mother warned me about you!
Strobe warning.
Shouldn't be here! You need to leave!
I mean, some people might need to leave because of the fucking strobing effect. That's the thing that there should be something in accessibility for. Like, just disable the strobing. That's kind of a major... You don't want to be doing that. If I turn this on, does that reduce the strobing? I'm not going to bet on it. No, it doesn't. I don't think I hit that. Okay, that I hit. But yeah, this game is very flashbangy in general, I suppose. Feels like I'm at a rave concert right now. Like, it would be nice to be able to reduce that, but definitely the strobing. Good lord, the strobing. Oh, hello, you're new. You've still got more strobing. Celebrant. Interesting. Now it has been shortened to Celebrant. It used to have a longer name in the original. Oh, it has a life bar, too. I don't think it had that before, either. I'm not sure how much... I was trying to use the shield breaker on it because it seemed like that was doing more damage to some enemies. Oh, there you go. I think it kind of muted that last shot. Also, I need to test something because I suspect there may be something very abusable in this. Oh no, it is okay. Each weapon has its own cooldown. Oh, and you can actually see it in the bottom left as well. That does not actually... Wow, that recovers from auto-heat pretty quick, overheat pretty quickly. This does not have auto-fire. This doesn't have rapid fire, whereas this does. A lot of area up here. Was I supposed to actually, like, come up here while I was fighting? Might be where we're going eventually. Let's check around here first to see if there's anything. Wow, this is the brightest place I've seen in the entire game so far. Okay. Oh. That's where we're going. I remember when I first played this, I commented that this reminded me of the beginning of a Quake map I had played either in one of the sewer jams or possibly Alkaline. What are we looking at here? Oh, this... So, at least in the original demo, this was the end of this part, of this playable part. I didn't have to hold that one. Yep, so that's the end of that part of it. But we have another part to play now that was not in the original demo. Before we do that, I want to test one thing. So yeah, that played out pretty much identically to... just in terms of, like, what ground it covered. So there was no possession, dispossession.
The end.
Skip that this time. Alright, so what I want to test is I want to go in here. Okay, I do have the skip flashing on, actually.
Where? Huh? Where am I?
Yeah, you do have to collect that one in order for this to open.
What happened to my body?
So what I want to test is, do we still get a flash here? Yeah, we do. So I feel like if you have skip flashing on, it should also skip that flash, potentially. Like, maybe do like an outline, but not the full red background or something. And then, yeah, the strobing. The strobing needs to be something that you can stop somehow. Because that also, like, depending on your location, that also amounts to flashing. Okay. I'm going to take a break, and then we will play the other part of the demo, which I have not seen before, and this ought to be exciting. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes to check that out. Okay, we're back. And now the part that I'm hyped for, which is the second demo, which is new to the version that was updated this year. So, let's take a look at Scourge Crater. Again, there is a trailer for this, and I have seen it. I think it pays to see what it looks like as it's introduced to us here, so I'm not going to spoil things through the trailer for other people. The Scourge Crater demo takes place further on in Falk's journey. We recommend playing the Saros Canyon demo first. Would you like to launch the Scourge Crater? Yeah, so they do say that at the bottom of the news update as well. Like, you're still recommended to play the other demo first. Which we just did, so we're ready for this one now. So let me start the timer back up. And we're gonna pick Warden again. Maybe we'll actually try Scourge difficulty later. I don't know. Oh, so you're immediately tossed into this completely different type of environment. Is that us? That's not what we looked like before. Although, if you were paying close attention to the Steam store page, it kind of already spoiled that Fox doesn't actually look like what we start like. You tell me I can't destroy all this stuff? Alright, do we still... Oh yeah, look, we've got a red hand now. Pretty sure we didn't have a red hand before. I've caught us red-handed. Oh, we have double jump. Surprise. This is officially Metroid Prime. As if we needed to float even more. We still have the floaty jumps, too. Wait, we do have footstep noises. Press control to... Wait, control is dash? That feels weird. Yep, control is dash. And there's definitely a little bit of a zoom yank on that. Okay, wait, so if we don't dash through that, do we just bonk? Oh yeah, I just bzz. Well, now I know that. Oh, now we get the possess and dispossess. Press E to possess watchers, then again to dispossess. Oh. And now we're, like, looking through it. And it has, like, a bit of a limited range. Oh, and we can... That's called possessing and dispossessing, but, like, we can control... It basically sucks us in and spits us out, sort of. Alright, so now is when we have to play with that other option. That was added. Where was it? Was it this one? Remove the motion and flicker effect associated with possession and depossession. Yeah. The screen will be grayed out during these transitions. Whoops. Oh, that's annoying. Like, that's actually worse, dude. Just skip the effect. Just don't do the effect. Why? That's not better. I mean, I guess it might arguably be better, but it's like, it's basically pick your poison. Why would you do that? Because it's like, what they really should have is a way to stop doing the extra yanking bullshit. Even just on the dash, there should be an option to disable it there, too. So, like, yeah, just why is it not possible for you to disable the yank and the flicker? Why? Because, like, the turning the entire view to gray is arguably worse because then you're just completely disorienting the player because they have no fucking idea where they're coming out. So, like, that's literally just, that's duct tape over, that's literally duct tape over the situation because my view literally turns gray. It's like they duct taped over my monitor. Why would you do that? And it's such an obvious band-aid. It's like, it smells like the developer couldn't figure out how to disable their own visual effects, so instead they're just covering them up. You realize how silly that looks, right? Like, by looks, I mean, like, how silly you look for doing that. Like, please actually put in the effort to disable your stupid visual effects instead. That is practically, like, I feel like I need to be embarrassed on behalf of the developer with how fucking stupid that is. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Distance scream? What about me? I'm screaming right now. Apparently I shouldn't have dashed that. This is one of those games where, like, all...
We've already pissed something off, huh?
The reactor was sealed for a reason. I assumed it was to keep people out. But maybe it was to keep something in.
There's our marker. It hasn't told me what the objective is, though. Apparently the objective is just go over there. Hey, look, it's the Death Star. But yeah, it feels like this is one of those games where everything... It's funny, because I just played the Current demo. Current is actually the title of the game. And this feels like it has a similar problem to that, where it's like, the scale of your jumps is so big that it becomes hard to, like, judge which move you should be using when. Like in the case where I dash clear over a platform. Also, the life bar looks really silly right now. Because, like, there's a white outline around it, which looks fine when you're in a dark environment, like the first area from the first demo. But now there's no white, but there's still the black in between, which, like, kind of makes sense. You want to be able to see that, like, that is an indicator of, like, I guess some kind of unit. It feels like that needs better contrast, though, because it's like the black stands out very much, but then the life meter itself doesn't stand out at all. Like, right now, the life meter is basically invisible, except for the black parts, which just kind of looks wonky. I wonder if you can carry momentum from that. New orders, containment. Ooh, can I get myself in trouble here? Gave me a double jump. Can I make you regret giving me a double jump? And a dash. I don't think I can, like... Oh, I can land over there. Is there an invisible wall here? No. Nope. I can get up there. I probably already passed by that. Also, real talk, it honestly feels like you're jumping and your landing is basically silent. Jumping is also, like, very quiet, and, like, I guess on the one hand I can get why you wouldn't want it to be too obnoxious, but on the other hand, it also feels like your jumps are, like, very floaty and not satisfying because you don't... There's no sound of any kind of impact either. Oh, hello, what's this? A third weapon? Monarch's Lance. Press left button to fire the lance. The lance can destroy invulnerable enemy shields when they turn purple. Okay. That might be a problem. Well, I mean, I know you have the colorblind setting, but it's like, you're saying when they turn purple. What's purple? It's like, your directions require perception / understanding of specific colors. Lance can rail through enemies, line them up to shoot multiple. Well, that sounds like fun. But I'm wondering about the whole purple shield thing. Like, does that mean that the shield breaker can't break all shields? Eye of Virtue. To be killed on sight. I see what you did there. We have a zoom? No. We're already overheating. Alright, and now we have to jump through there, I guess. Or anything else I can do around here? I'm guessing all of that would be just a death plane. Cause like, and that's the thing, it's like, cool, I have this like extremely big floaty double jump and a dash. I should be able to get to all sorts of interesting places, but no, everything's still linear. Okay, yeah, and now the shield is broken. Whoa, okay, that was explosive. Oh, and the shield is back. Oh, you also have a railgun. Aren't you special? Also, that hurts a lot. Kind of feels... Okay, it comes back so fast, I basically just have to shoot it with this. Oh, wait, no, now it's actually, like, stunned. So sometimes it comes back right away, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm a little confused. Oh, jeez. Wait, is the shield not... I tried to dash with the wrong button. Oh, good. We have visual effects that kind of make it harder to see. Oh, I'm dead. First time I died, so this is already a huge difficulty spike. Oh, do we have like a death effect? Get up, scout, do it again. Oh, is this what they supposedly, like, remodeled? Yeah, I never actually died due to enemies, or anything. I only ever, like, fell down and had to get respawned. Is that... Can I still get in there? Yeah, I can, okay. It's hard for me to get in there. Oh, come on, that still hit me? What did I just do? That's... Oh, that's the drift kill. Holy shit. You could do that from a distance? Alright, so they didn't actually introduce that at all. It just happened. Like, it was just suddenly available. That's crazy that you can just do it from any distance, though. So it's not like a Doom Glory kill. You can just do it remotely. Whoops, I seemed a little bit stuck there. Why does it seem like I'm not shooting you? I might have to hit that with the shield breaker specifically. It does, so here's the thing. It does have the blue shield. The blue shield is also nearly invisible, because guess what's also blue? The entire fucking skybox. So, unfortunately so far, on balance, the second part of the demo is actually unselling me on the game, because it feels like they didn't really think about whether this all makes sense when put together. It's like, that shield is totally imperceptible now. So yeah, like, they did not think about... Whoa, what the... Oh god, you need to get away from me. At least they do have a sound cue. Why are you not getting hit? Alright, you're dead. And meanwhile, I've been, yeah, just trying to, like, keep moving because I know this thing's over here. There we go. You do have to remember to catch the, Oh, is that also a washer that I can, zoom over to? Do I actually have to do a leap of faith and then zoom into it? Yep, I do. Not a huge fan of leaps of faith, but... And again, that's another case where, like, because of the scale of the jumps, like, they mandate... It becomes necessary to make these jumps look completely larger than life to an extent where you can't really gauge whether you can even realistically make it. And to be fair, like, I was starting to fall before I was within range to possess that. So that seems very dubious. Like, I want to like this game because it has cool concepts, but I feel like the execution is kind of falling short. Where are the railgun things? Because I'm hearing them. I don't know if that means anything. Are they all down there, actually? Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, so it's like a counter. You have to... It only does the purple when it goes to shoot, and you have to... It's almost like a parry. I shouldn't have done that. Well, I'm dead. I got point blanked. Yeah, getting that close to enemies probably a bad idea. Alright, how much of that do I have to redo? The whole thing, or is it just... Okay, it's this part. Now, it did refill my health, though. Well, those actually... Okay, I should not have jumped before. They actually do spawn before you jump. So that was my problem. Freaking fireworks noises. Hello, I was trying to lock on, it didn't happen. Oh, you're not even shielded. Whoops, I just flashbanged myself and didn't actually accomplish anything. Oh, that was the wrong button. Shit. Nope, couldn't save it. Alright, but that just penalizes you some health. Hello? I shot you with the thing. You're supposed to act like it. Oh, you're not doing purple. Wait, now you are. I thought it normally goes purple before it shoots. I'm very confused now. That was going purple at a completely different time in its cycle. Also, for some reason, I can't jump on top of that. If I can jump all the way over there. Probably shouldn't try it. Obviously, this is here for a reason. What is this? Oh, good lord. Okay. Is this what they actually meant by the warden? That would make a lot more sense. Okay, I don't know what just happened in terms of why there are suddenly explosions everywhere. But out of curiosity, I have to turn freeze frames back on to see if... Because, like, I'm killing things every 2 seconds. It would be completely... Yeah, no, I don't think it bothers freeze framing when you're in the warden. Assuming that that's what this is. Alright, I can't dash or anything in this. Also, is it just me or is it kind of auto-aiming? I can't actually see what's shooting at me, mind you. Like, I didn't see anything besides the bullets. It seems like I don't have... Oh, you have to be in a zone to depossess, which is basically just dismount. Oh, that was interesting that it showed, like...
The riots were primarily used for construction, but security was a common secondary function.
I'm amazed they weren't running the place. That's a lot of firepower.
Don't get any ideas. I'd hate to have to shock you when you've been doing so well.
So, she is still kind of controlling us, so she's not really a friend. I don't understand, though, because, like, she was the one who's saying we have to see about getting you disconnected and whatnot. But then why is she shocking us when we do something she doesn't like? Well, obviously, some part of the story was skipped. They're reminding me to do that now, even though I've done that before? See, I feel like if you have to remind people to do that now, it's not because they forgot they can do it. It's because it's not clear that that's what they need to be doing here. Because I see something that looks like a platform there. I see something that doesn't really look like a platform there. But it's like, because of the super floaty, bloated jumping in this game, combined with the dash and the double jump, it becomes not obvious what you are supposed to do. The answer to that is to make your mechanics not suck so that signposting is possible. The answer to that is not a message to act like the player forgot what you told them 10 minutes ago. Like, this is a band-aid over bad signposting because your game's mechanics make it hard for you to do signposting. Because that doesn't look like I can possess it, but I can. Like, it is very counterintuitive to have to possess these things while looking up at them. Because that makes it feel like my jump wasn't actually long enough to get there. This feels bad. And now we're just doing this about... Can I skip one? I can skip one. That's cool, because that means we have one less annoying flashing thing, because the alternative to flashes is the screen gets covered in duct tape for 3 seconds.
Be careful. I know next to nothing about this place. I have no idea what you might find in there.
That's comforting.
A scout's job is to explore the unknown, and sometimes the unknown is dangerous. That's just how it is.
You think I don't know that?
Why don't we get Island in here, then? If she's so fucking smart. Scout's job is to do what the rich hoity-toities don't want to do. Got it. Do I actually need to go through them? Yeah, I guess at some point this is going to become unclimbable. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, can you just, like, go linearly? Okay. I did not know that. Let's see what that looks like. It probably still looks awful. So that was this, which I feel like the label for this should actually just say that it's specifically about possession and depossession. Yeah, that's all. That looks so stupid, dude. Like, that's still a screen flash. You realize that's still bad, right? They're like, well, we made it a gray screen flash. So that doesn't count, right? It still counts. And also, it's just, like, completely destroying your context.
You nasty little flesh bag. You bone puppet. Won't it be lovely when I tear the skin right off you? I'll wave you like a flag.
It's like, the flashing, I'm calling it flashing, even though it's supposed to be the not flashing. Like, this is literally more annoying than not having this checked. This is not accomplishing its goal. And it's possibly the most pathetic not accomplishing of a goal that I've ever seen. Well, whoops. I hit the wrong button. I meant to salvage that with a dash.
Wait to crunch you up.
Alright, so we do get a health restoration here. I was actually kind of surprised that, like, the checkpointing seemed pretty reasonable back before. Like, very Doom 2016 style. Well, not even, because sometimes Doom 2016 sets you back, like, multiple fights.
Okay, you. Teeny tiny. Not even a morsel.
Are you telling me that's what's been talking to me? Orchard Adrift. Whoops. Kinda hard to get a read on that. very overpowering all of a sudden. I honestly cannot tell. Like, it doesn't look like I'm doing damage, but it might just be that its health bar is that freaking dense. I was trying to tell if it was saying... Is it saying invulnerable and extremely tiny tanks? Oh, it's telling me to shoot these? Okay. See, didn't realize that. That makes sense, though. That's why I couldn't even frickin' see its face. Oh, well, that didn't go... Jeez. I thought I was jumping over that. The game disagreed. Oh god, I have to go through this whole stupid thing again? Like, give me a save point at the boss.
Okay.
And I have to listen to its stupid shit again, too.
Tiny! Not even a morsel!
Like, save here. Cool. I don't think it ever did that attack last time, but now I'm at, like, quarter health immediately because of that. Alright, now it's doing the thing. Really? I'm getting hit by things that I don't think I should be getting hit by. Give me an enemy that I can actually get health from. There we go. Jeez, I'm glad that didn't actually hit. Oh, do I need to hit the shield first? I guess so. That has limited range on it. Actually get it? I thought I died. I seriously thought I died with all the freaking red flashing. So, there were things about that fight that sucked, because there was sensory overload going on, to the point where, like, I could very much expect people to fail the third phase where they did the railgun enemies, because the railgun enemies normally make noise. Problem is, you couldn't hear them because of all the other shit going on in the arena, and also the music. Like, I probably should have turned the music down. So yeah, that didn't feel good. That needs work. I seriously feel like, and I mean, it kind of makes sense, like, the first demo, Saros Canyon, came out originally 3 years ago. They had time to work with feedback on that. Scourge Crater is the new demo that just dropped now. I feel like it has lots of problems. You have the fact that you can't really see your health bar as easily outdoors with a bright skybox. You can't see blue shielded enemies' shields easily outdoors because the shield is the same color as the skybox. The scale of the, I already was kind of not super sold on the floaty jumping even in the first demo, and that becomes even worse when you add double jump and dash on top of it. That compounds the problem, because then it means that, oh, if I want to push the player to maximally use all of those, I need to put things at such a distance that they look unreachable. And we saw a microcosm of that with the message that reminded you how Watchers work. When you just did that, I mean, like, yeah, maybe people forgot, but, like, I think the reason people would get stuck there and warrant that message being added a second time is because they didn't realize that you were intended to reach that Watcher from there. It looks unreachable. It feels unreachable. You have to be looking up at it, and you're already in a state of please work, please work, please work, otherwise I fall and lose health. That's not a good state to be constantly putting the player in, and that level did that multiple times. So that feels bad. The Watchers feel bad in general because you either have the dash has the jerky motion, there needs to be a toggle for that. The Watchers have the jerky and flickery motion, and they have a toggle for that, but all that toggle does is covers up the entire animation with gray, which is going to heavily one is still a screen flash, and two is going to heavily disorient the player because they can't see shit, and then all of a sudden they see where they are. You know, it's like cupping your hands over the player's eyes for 3 seconds. Oh, you don't like seeing this? Well, we're just gonna cover your eyes. Good luck. It's like being forced to play peekaboo. Like, why would you do that instead of actually just disabling the effects that are annoying? So, like, proper toggle to disable the zooming effects on dash and on Watchers. Possession. And whether that's one and the same toggle, or if it's two toggles, one for the dash, one for the possession, because the possession also has the extra flicker effect too. Do it whichever way you want, but make sure it's a valid, proper toggle. None of this half-assed, we literally duct tape your monitor for 3 seconds bullshit, because that is bullshit. Like, so yeah, a lot of stuff in the Scourge Crater feels bad. The railgun is kind of cool. It takes a minute to realize that, because, like, the way they describe it with purple shields, it's not really a shield. It's almost like a sometimes available weak point. Because if you hit them with the railgun at any other time, it doesn't stun them. It only stuns them if you hit the purple thing. But the purple thing isn't a shield. It's like a thing that usually comes up when they're charging, but not always, because there was that one time where it seemed to be out of phase with the charging attack. So that part I didn't understand either. So calling that a shield feels a little loose. Like, now when I first saw it, I was like, wait, you're saying there's different color shields and the player is supposed to be able to tell the difference? Because if they're colorblind, maybe they won't. But it's a different kind of shield. Like, one is a shield that completely envelops the enemy, from what I seem to recall. The other one is a shield that's like in the center, but it's not covering the entire thing. So it's somewhat distinct. But yeah, you need to learn that really well in order to survive that boss fight, because the third phase of that boss fight, when it goes invulnerable again, it seems to just intentionally spawn, fortunately one at a time, not all three at once, which is good. But it spawns one of the railgun enemies, and you need to understand how they work. Otherwise, you're probably going to die there, because there's other hazards in the room. You can't hear the railgun enemy. You need to be looking at what it's doing, because there's all this other noise in that room that really shouldn't be there, in my opinion. Like, if you're also going to throw regular enemies at the player, then the player needs to be able to actually hear those regular enemies. And in that fight, you can't, really. And maybe part of it is just, like, how loud the music is. But, like, everywhere else, the music hasn't generally been that loud, so that's also, like, maybe requires some balancing. So, yeah, ugh. Like, this is a game that I want to like, but it kind of always feels like it's falling short on execution. Because when I first played Sorrow's Canyon, there was the performance, which fortunately does seem improved, although I wonder how much of that is they turned down what is considered high. I don't know. Given that there's 2 levels above that, and I don't remember if that was the case before. The first section does, like, well, both sections still feel painfully linear. It's like, if you're gonna give me stuff like a double jump and a dash, ordinarily the point of doing that is for exploration purposes, but this is not structured like a Metroidvania from anything we have seen so far. It is entirely just, like, movement and combat, but it's not exploration. Because anytime I have tried to explore, I have found nothing other than a death plane. So, it's kind of sad that I want this to be more than it is, because it has the ingredients to be more than it is. But also it has a whole slew of new problems exhibited in the Scourge Crater part of the demo. So, I don't know. It needs work. I still think it looks cool. But I also still think, like, despite all of the accessibility options, like, there is still a lot of screen flashing going on that the player can't do anything about. Like I showed to begin with, like, every time you use the shield breaker, it basically whatever you're hitting with it flashbangs you. Maybe do something to make that not have to be a thing. There could very easily be an option for that. Make an option to disable strobe lights, or make them much slower or something. It's really baffling how there's a full accessibility menu, and there's a lot of good stuff in it, but there's also still so many ways that it is missing stuff that it desperately needs for the game to really be accessible. So, I don't know. I want to see the game succeed, but I worry that every time they take one step forward, they're taking 2 steps back right now. But I don't know. Given that at least the performance issues seem to be resolved, I want to still keep an eye on this and maybe play it at some point, but in terms of actual, like, substance, my expectations are not super high. I was hoping that Scourge Crater would provide an opportunity for the game to actually show something in terms of exploration and in terms of what the game can do when it's not being a series of extremely dark corridors. But no, it's just a bunch of extremely bright, wide-open corridors instead, and also there's less ground now. like that's all it was. It's it really is very, like, as much as it looks like it incorporates ideas from stuff like Nier Automata and Metroid Prime, it is very Doom 2016 coded. Because it's just a series of encounters, that's all it is. And I mean, it can still be fun that way, but I feel like it could have been a lot more than that. So, I feel a little let down. It still looks like it could be a pretty fun experience, and like, I hesitate to use the word polish with this, because it does come off as looking polished, but it doesn't feel polished, and it's not in as bad of a way as, say, Seth, which I played yesterday, which, like, very much doesn't feel polished, but looks polished. It's just that there's so many, like, glaring accessibility issues that I see with it in this case that I worry will get in the way of a lot of people potentially being able to enjoy this. So, I feel like those really need to be ironed out. And I worry that part of it is just, like, ingrained in the game's design with how floaty the frickin' jumps are. You would have to tighten up all of the jumps, like, you would have to tighten up the jumping physics, and then you would have to basically redo all of the level design to account for that, in order to avoid having these, like, excessively impossible-looking wide-open jumps in the later areas when you have double jump and dash. Because, like I said, you basically... Either that or they have to figure out a way to signpost better, or at least just rein in the ones that... You can't have these giant leaps of faith. And actually, it's interesting that I say this in a 3D first-person game. Because I've played, like, Super Metroid ROM hacks that have leaps of faith in them, where, like, you have to jump to a platform that is literally off-camera. Good fucking luck. I hope you have precognition. In this, you can see what you're supposed to jump to, but it looks like there's no way in hell you're getting to it. And I feel like, at least in those cases, you probably could, like, just move that one watcher down so it's at eye level, so it feels like you have half a chance of actually grabbing it. Because no one likes feeling like they're making a leap of faith and I don't even know if I'm gonna reach this thing, but it seems like the only thing that the game can possibly be wanting me to do. But people still felt too unsure of that because of what I just said, so the game added an extra frickin' tooltip showing the same thing that they told you before. So yeah, there were a couple of very blatant, like, between the extra repeated tip that's like, no, yeah, you actually are supposed to be doing this thing that looks fucking impossible right here. Between that and the duct tape over your eyes for 3 seconds, those were definitely, like, the lowest of low points in the demo. So, you definitely need to apply more finesse to situations like that. So yeah, I mean, I tend to poke criticism at things because I would like to see them improve. So, take my amount of criticism with a grain of salt, but I still like the demo. I want to like it more. That's basically what it comes down to.